Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Everything Everywhere All at Once, finding certainty and meaning in the chaos and mayhem that is all around us. I'm your host, Stephen Edwards. So let's do a quick review of episode 1. We talked about quantum physics that tells us we already live in the multiverse that is, of course, depicted in the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? We talked about that in 1920, Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg, two of the leading scientists at the time or earliest scientists in the study of quantum mechanics, proposed what they called the Copenhagen interpretation, which was then superseded in 1957, because the Copenhagen interpretation basically said that there are all these possibilities that exist until you give attention to one of those possibilities, put a focus or measure that potential, and then all the other possibilities collapse and we end up with just one reality, and that's the one we all live in. And then in 1957, Hugh Everett III, I know, quite a name, offered us the many worlds interpretation, where it said that, look, all these potential multiverses exist at the same time. However, when we give one our attention, when we give one idea, one thought our attention, the others don't collapse. They remain in existence, but we end up just being in one reality and not aware of the other realities until now, right? So now we're becoming aware of these multiverses. And in the movie, of course, they create a new multiverse or universe with every thought that they have, right? So the message from the movie, Everything Everywhere at Once, and quantum physics is that we live in a multiverse, and every thought that we have creates another multiverse. I know it's got to be really crazy out there, right? But we're about to join them. All right. So quantum physics also tells us that we can create then our own reality by focusing our attention on specific things. All right. So that's good and bad, right? So we got to be careful what we think about, because we're going to get it, right? And we've heard that many times before. Yes. All right. So we're faced right now with some existential threats that are speeding everything up, both in terms of how important they are, and also, what's going to happen in our future. So there's a lot of uncertainty around us right now. People are scared. If they're not scared, they're not paying attention, as some people say, right? People are feeling overwhelmed. There's so much going on. Where? Everywhere. Where? All at once, right? So our thoughts are very creative, as we discussed in the first edition episode. If you haven't watched that yet, go back and watch it. Our thoughts are created, and every thought is a prayer, right? So now we're having scientific verification that prayer works. And as any of you who do pray know, or have been part of prayer groups, that can magnify our thoughts and increase the speed and the probability of that group prayer coming true. Imagine what it'd be like if we could create a group mind and set intentions as a group. And of course, we've been doing this in the last few decades, where we have days where everybody comes together and thinks about the same outcomes and pray for those outcomes, and it has a profound effect. So we are, in essence, creating and manifesting machines. We just got to get the machinery tuned in, right? So, because for the most part, we do this creating unconsciously. So what we need to do is learn how to do it consciously, right? And that's a big part of what we're here to help you with here at Everything Everywhere All at Once, the series. All right. So we can create the life and the world we desire rather than the world of our nightmares. Sounds like a pretty good goal, right? So these possibilities have been shown to us, as we talked about in the first episode, in books and movies, right? So these movies were, of course, initially made in the minds of their creators, right? And before they made them and put them on the screen across the country, they had to imagine it, right? So They were created from inspired images in their minds. We might call that imagination, correct? Right. Okay, so we can create movies from our imagination, right? Okay, so what if the life we perceive, the life in front of us, is created from other people's imagination? What if this reality we live in is just an imagined reality? What if we were living in a dream, a movie? Whose dream or movie are you living in? What is a movie? It's a series of photographs, right? It's a series of pictures shown at speed. It's moving pictures, right? It's called the movies. You know, when I was growing up in England, or as we now call it, the UK, every Saturday morning when I was a kid, my grandparents took me and my sister to the pictures. That's what we called it then, right? When we're going to the pictures. Look it up. And here in America, we call it the movies. And we all love to watch movies, don't we? Right? Which is why I made it the backdrop of the points I was trying to make it in the first episode. I know, genius, right? So we basically all have a screen in front of us. It's called life, right? We're projecting our imagination, our images onto that screen. Now you might say, this is not the life I would create if I was in control. Exactly, you're not in control. So we're going to get you in control. So we project pictures, the pictures in our minds at movie speed, our beliefs, our thoughts, our imagination. We have a whole nation of beliefs, right? Image nation, right? Images going on in our minds, and we're projecting them onto the screen. So this is how we create our very own movie. Yes, you are creating it all. It's all you, kiddo. All right, so you go, why on earth would I create this life? I know, crazy, right? I mean, you'd have to be crazy to do that, right? Yes, you are, right? The entire world is insane. We've been driven insane. I'll prove it to you. Just so you know, I'm going to expect you to take responsibility, but not for that. So I'll prove it to you. But you're going to be, look, we're going to have to look at this in a different way. And in the first episode, we talked about the movie The Matrix. And in The Matrix, Neo, the one, right, was offered by Morpheus 2 pills, right? Which one do you want? The red pill or the blue pill? The blue pill, you go back to the way it was. The red pill, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. And you are already, if you watched the first episode, you're here. So you took the red pill. Did you swallow it? Okay. Thank good for that. Talk about that too. Make sure you drink some water, by the way, just in case. All right. Hopefully it's dissolved by now. Otherwise, that would not be good. All right. So this is, look, there's just so much going on. Like I said, I mean, it's pretty crowded in your mind, right? Yeah. There's so much going on in there. So many images, so many ideas, so many things going on. Your mind is full, right? Sometimes it seems crowded, doesn't it? Yeah. Hopefully not like The Crowded Room, right? The series on Apple TV. You know, I don't know where I pull it from. All right. But there is so much going on in our minds. It's hard to focus. And sometimes, or anytime, right, it's hard to keep focused on what we really want to do because there's so many distractions. And yet, yes, that's exactly what we need to do. Focus. But the whole point of this series is that we as humans have the ability to create whole worlds that we imagine in our minds. Think about all the things that are going on right now with the metaverse and AI and all this external technology. Yes, we're going to talk about all that. The imagination in our minds can be so rich, vivid, and detailed that the mind is convinced that it's real and then projects that reality onto the screen in front of us called life. Life is a movie. We're projecting it all out there. Now, the images, this imagination that we project can come from our own mind or from the minds of other people. Most people are projecting beliefs, thoughts, and images that they've been programmed by society, by their culture, by the environment. that they live in to think and imagine. So we need to get control of our mind. We need to question our beliefs, pluck out the ones that don't make any sense, that are not taking us where we want to go, that we just inherited, that we've heard so many times. They're now transparent beliefs. Yes, we talked about that too. Transparent beliefs are beliefs that are controlling us, but we don't even see them. We're not even aware that they're there, right? And we've got to start to become aware of them. Awareness is the first step to transformation, right? So we're going to question our beliefs, like time is money, like to get the job done, you got to do it yourself. These are lies. These are not true. And I'll prove it to you, right? All right. So we've got to make sure that our beliefs support our desired outcomes and are taking it in the direction that we want to go. And they're creating images in our minds that we want to experience in reality, right? So we need to challenge our thoughts as well, right? 99, I'm not exactly sure how they measured this, but this is supposed to be a scientifically measured study on our thoughts. And they claim, the scientists claim, I'm not sure of their names, but apparently 99% of our thoughts are negative every day. I mean, your thoughts, mine are all fine. Anyway, so we need to focus our intention on the things that we want to expand, because where our attention goes, our energy flows, and that is what expands. Yeah, getting huge, aren't I? So we need to visualize and hold a vision for our life. So write this down if you haven't been writing already. We need a mission, a vision, and a purpose for our lives. I didn't say we want one. I didn't say you might like to have one. I said we need one, right? Yeah. And I'll make that clear as we go through this program. Just write it down right now. Mission, vision, and purpose, or what's the abbreviation? M. M for mission, V for vision, P for purpose. Oh, just turned into a school teacher there, didn't I? All right. So we need a purpose. We need an MVP. We're going to discuss this more, right? Hopefully you took the challenge or the mission impossible, that I gave you in the last episode, which was the first, to get a journal and have it with you, and everything, everywhere, all at once journal. Can you imagine? Wow. Okay. So the microphone just tipped down there. I'm getting a little excited. All right. So we need a mission, vision, and purpose. Now, in the movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, all this chaos and mayhem was happening, but it ended up coming back to where they were, right? And everything had changed, but everything was the same. I know, that's where we're going to be. So in the movie, The Matrix, right? They recognized that this was all a simulated reality, right? And they also recognized that the world they live in, they had the ability to do things that, let's be honest, most of us can't do, right? Dodging bullets and moving in ways and martial arts and the whole 9 yards, right? So we're going to look at what they were alluding to in that movie, The Matrix. There were so many things in there, right? But is that we have hidden potential, right? That we are going to begin to realize. But in the movie, one of the key parts of the movie at the beginning anyway, was when Morpheus, like I just said earlier, said to Neo, the one, well, at least, when he aligns back with Trinity, he becomes the one, or they become the one, right? Just being politically correct here, at least for now. Anyway, so we've got 2 pills, red pill, blue pill. Blue pill, just go back to the way everything was, which may not be what you want, which is why you're here. You're looking for something else, because living in that reality is just not okay anymore. Or the red pill, which means we go down the rabbit hole, right? And we look at the truth. Oh, yeah. What about what truth you talking about, Stephen? Because when these people start talking about truth, it's usually a lie. Okay. Well, the truth about who you really are. Yes, I know you think you know. And maybe you do, but we're just going to put it to the test, all right? All right. What about the truth about your true potential? Don't get cocky. All right. So, what about the truth about what you're capable of? How about the truth of what we are or what we're capable of as humanity, as a human race, as a human being? What can we create? How can we access our true potential? So, look, here's the bottom line. You know, I made a promise to myself I wouldn't say that again, but I did. So here's the bottom line. Screw it. Your continued presence here says that you are perhaps insane, but you want your sanity back. Perhaps you are tired of living to work or working to live, as the vast majority of people are. Perhaps you're just sick and tired and trying to remember why, right? Perhaps you are overwhelmed, or at least maybe you know someone who is, someone perhaps close or even intimately. Or maybe you are just an adventurer and you're ready for your next adventure. Whatever the reason, you have chosen the red pill and you are ready. At least you think you are. Are you ready? Are you all ready? I think you already were. Okay, so we're all manifesting our own movie, and we need to regain control of our mind and focus because it can be so scattered and all over the place, right? So you've chosen to take the red pill. So we've recognized that we're projecting our own beliefs, our own thoughts, and our own images onto the screen in front of us called life, rather than the ones we want to be projecting the images we want, rather than the ones that are programmed by society, our culture, our environment. If, as the Native American Indians have been telling us for a long time is true, and that quantum physics tells us is true, that we all live in a dream, whose dream are you living in? And when would now be a good time to start living the dream of your choice? Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to do that. Did you swallow the red pill yet? Okay, remember, drink lots of water. All right, so let's take a look at this image. All right, so this is what's going on in our minds. All these images, all flowing, changing all the time. So we keep changing our minds. And you see, there is a delay between what we think, imagine, right? Our thoughts, and then becoming real. So we need to focus our energy on the images in our mind for them to formulate. We need to hold the energy long enough for them to formulate into matter. They have to matter to us. I know. It's going to get worse before it gets better. So just, hang in there. They have to matter to us enough for us to focus on them enough in order for them to manifest on the screen. Now, what I'll also be talking about later, which you're going to love, is that the speed of thought becoming real is getting faster and faster. The time between us thinking something and it becoming physically real is getting shorter and shorter and shorter as time is collapsing. Yes, we're going to get to that too. I know. Are you excited? I'm excited. All right. So that means whatever we focus on for long enough in our mind, whether it's good or bad, right? Whether it's what we want or don't want, whether it's what we desire or what we fear, we're going to experience it. Some of you are going, holy heck, I need to work on this quick. You see, the mind cannot tell the difference between something vividly imagined and something that actually happens. The mind can't tell the difference, right? So that is why, if you're in a dream or a nightmare and you're falling from a high building or in the sky, you always wake up before you land. How do I know that? Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You'd have a heart attack and die. It's a self-preservation mechanism, right? So we'll explore all this in future episodes and more in this episode. But for right now, here's the important point. We have a choice in the outcome of our reality. We have a choice in the outcome of our future. We need to play our part in creating the outcome that we want, that we all want, because we can't do this passively anymore. because we really do have existential threats. And the future really is in our hands. Your reality is really in your hands, now more so than ever before. So we all have responsibility. We're all going to be held accountable, because let's face it, if the robots do take over, it's going to affect you a little bit. All right. So let me ask you this. By now, you should be starting to feel the effects of the red pill reality. I'll write that down. I just coined that phrase earlier this morning. Red pill reality. That's where we are heading. If you feel a little dizzy, just drink more water and relax. As they like to say, chillax, right? So in episode 1, we addressed the fact that, how we like the characters in the Everything Everywhere All at Once movie are living in the multiverse already. And these multiverses converge, and as they converge, they are causing all kinds of chaos and mayhem in our lives. So we've got to find certainty and meaning, because without those two things, we literally can't survive. Now, we need certainty and uncertainty, right? We need consistency. We need some variety, right? We need all those things. We need them and to a certain extent, that's the tension of life. But if we go too far one way, it freaks us out, right? And most people right now are a little freaked out. So we're going to look at where all this chaos and mayhem is leading us, so we can have certainty and meaning. We need to function and be excited about the future. Now, I wasn't going to get to some of the stuff I'm going to share with you today until later, but A, I couldn't wait, and B, I think you need to know this, all right? So we need to know this before we blast off. We're going to look at some very basic stuff. That's some of you, it might be, cutting edge, but we're going to look at some basic stuff to create certainty about the fact that these multiverses do exist. I'm going to show you them, right? We're going to start off very simple, and then we're going to expand. We're going to have some clarity and certainty about the world we live in, and then we're going to blast off at lightning speed into the universe of multiverses, currently beyond our known world, and create more uncertainty for you again. I know. Okay, so let's take the next small step on our journey. Let's look at one of the simple to see multiverses that are all around us right now, and that would be social media. Social media is a multiverse? You bet. Think about it. When anybody is looking at Facebook or in Pinterest or in TikTok, not that anybody, ever uses any of those things, they're in a different universe. They're in one of the multiverses. All these are different universes. When you get into Spotify, you get into a different universe. You get into, WhatsApp, into Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, right? And Threads, right? All these different things. They're all different universes, okay? Bing now, of course, is creating a search engine. Well, not creating. Bing is a search engine that's competing with Google and Yahoo, right? And what do they want to do? They want people to come into their universe, to use their universe, right? So social media, with all its diverse platforms, right, has undoubtedly transformed a lot of people's lives, right, in numerous ways, particularly for the younger generation, right? It's become an addictive realm, right, intertwining with their daily routines and influencing their social interactions, everything from self-expression, even their perception of reality, right? The omnipresence of social media has blurred the boundaries between the virtual and the real world, giving rise to a digital realm, a digital reality fueled by likes, shares, and retweets. I guess there'll be re-X's. Is that what it's going to be? And we'll talk about that later. All right. So this relentless pursuit of virtual validation has begun to shape identities, sway decisions, and mold societal norms. And this is going to become even more powerful with the introduction of AI, right? And this is a concern again in our society because, people can pretend to be other people, and it's difficult to tell, right? They can imitate people. Just last week, I was talking to an AI creator, and they were saying that AI can take a 3-second soundbite of your voice and become you. And it's been proven where they can take the soundbite of a child or a young person and call their parents and tell them that they are going for a job and they need to get their social security number and they can't remember what it is. Now, you start to think about all these things. This is crazy. I mean, it was just with social media before AI. Look what has been able to happen. We're creating havoc, right? In the UK, they just had Brexit, and all of the decisions were driven by this social media. In the last election, which I'm not going to get into politics, but I'm just saying it's being used, right, to program people's minds, trick people. There's all kinds of fake news, right? It's hard to tell it's fake, right? So in this new era, it's crucial to navigate this digital universe with discernment, finding a balance between advantages and potential drawbacks. Social media is a virtual world unto itself. It is a universe in the multiverse, each one. So you might even call it, like I said, a separate universe and part of the multiverse we live in today. All right. So Bing is trying to establish itself as a credible alternative, like I said, to Google and Yahoo. In an attempt to gain market share, it just added DALL-E, a high-quality image creation AI that normally requires a monthly subscription. They've added it to the Bing service for free. Yes, I've been using it, of course. All right. With this and other image creating AI like Midjourney, yes, I use that too. All right, which we'll look at soon. I'm going to show you some of the images, and it just allows us to create art by using words. I can't draw. Now, that's a transparent belief, I know. And I'm keeping it because I really don't want to draw. I'm happy to do it in DALL-E or Midjourney. How about you? Do you really want to learn how to draw? No. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak for you. I just meant me. I don't want to learn how to draw. I'm happy for them to draw for me, right? So we can create art, lifelike photos. I will show you some, right? Marketing, media images that cost nothing and allow us to put our own creative ideas, excuse me, out into the world for little or no cost. What's the point? What I'm going to be sharing with you and getting you to look at is that this whole system that we live in today is collapsing. Everything is going away. We are going to demonetize everything. We're going to decentralize everything. We are going to democratize everything. What? I know. It's crazy. Stick with me. All right. So this also illustrates the speed of change and adoption of AI. Where? In everything, everywhere. Yeah, you see, I don't even, we're starting to finish each of the sentences here, right? How crazy is that? Amazing. All right. So let's see here. So that is a picture. What a picture. What a photograph, right? All on our minds, pictures, right? So we enter Facebook, right? I know that's not the exact logo. I know. You know what I mean, though, right? You get the point, right? This is artwork from DALL-E, right? So it's not going to put the actual logo of Meta or Facebook in there, is it? Because it's copyrighted, right? But you get the point, right? So Facebook is another type of multiverse. Like we've said, we're constantly jumping from one universe to another. Now, contrary to popular thought, we cannot multitask. Stephen, I do it all the time. No, you don't. You just kid yourself you do. You see, if you're really going to focus on the images in Facebook and somebody distracts you and you try and put your attention somewhere else, you have to pull out of that universe and then you have to enter another universe. Yeah, so we're doing this already. So as we move forward and these universes or multiverses that we're going to look at together And I know we're starting off very basic, right? But I'm just getting you used to the concept, right? We're going to start getting a little crazy in a little bit. All right. But you're fine because you're already crazy. So that's good. All right. So Threads, the latest contender in the social media arena, offers a captive alternative to conventional platforms. Its specific aim was to compete with Twitter. But of course, Twitter is not there anymore. How fast those birds can fly, huh? Okay. So it's a platform synonymous with Twitter, of course, is the platform synonymous with the tech mogul Elon Musk, and who at the moment, Zuckerberg and Musk are kind of, are they in combat or something? Are they going to have a fight or something, in a cage fighting or something? I hope that never happens. That would not be a sight for sore eyes. It would be a sight that would actually make your eyes sore. Just my opinion. All right. Would I watch it? Of course. Will you watch it? Of course, right? It'd be hilarious, right? All right. Threads seek to redefine our online interactions. It introduces a fresh perspective of digital discourse, prioritizing meaningful engagements over viral content. Okay. A little bit of a spin, right? This innovative platform is poised to challenge the established norms and initiate a new era of social media communication. That's what they're all trying to do, right? Isn't it? And what they're all trying to do is bring you into their universe and provide you with everything you need in that universe, so you don't need what? To go into anybody else's. Oh, so it's a fight for global domination. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, they all recognize there's room for more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And even if they only get a small share of the 8 billion, soon to be 10 billion people on planet Earth, they're going to do okay. And as we're going to talk about later, they're not only just going to do okay, they're going to have whole nations of people. Yeah. Each one of these social media platforms, the survivors, and they're not all going to survive, is going to become a nation unto itself. What? I know. The world of borders and traditional nations is going to fall away. And I'm going to show you how it's going to happen. How do you know all this stuff? Because I read, all right? And I study. And stop asking questions and just listen for a minute. All right. So this paradox becomes evident. This paradox of these different universes becomes evident during family gatherings, doesn't it? Right. So, or social events, right? You go hang out with your friends, right? And you're all sitting there with your phones. Nobody's talking, right? So rather than engaging in lively conversation, individuals are found engrossed in their phone screens. So this behavior is cyclical, right? Because as everybody's sitting there with their phones, one person might say, I'm going to talk to them. Everybody's looking at their phone. So I might as well just go back in. Somebody else looks up. Everybody else is looking at their phone. I may as well go back in, and around we go. So every time someone looks up, they only find someone else immersed in their digital world, thus compelling them to retreat back into their own. Consequently, a room full of people can morph into a room full of silence. Each individual is detached and engrossed in their own personal multiverse. Yeah. So, people say, why is all this happening? This is terrible. Do you remember when, parents used to say to kids, get off YouTube. It's a waste of time. How's that ever going to make you any money? We're going to look at that in a minute, right? So let's have a look. Twitter. Elon dressed as the bird. All right. Elon Musk Twitter was acquired by Elon Musk's S Corp. He sold it to himself, right? Changed the name to ensure, he says, freedom of speech and as an accelerant for X, the everything app. He said, look, this is not simply a company renaming himself. He said the Twitter name made sense when, it was 140 character messages going back and forth like birds tweeting. But now you can post almost anything, including several hours of video. And the months to come will add comprehensive communications and the ability to conduct your entire financial world. So the Twitter name doesn't make sense anymore in that context. So we must bid adieu to the bird. Okay. And it's a move that analysts, business analysts have said, yeah, it's pretty risky. He's going to undo years of branding behind Twitter's blue bird, right? Already, Twitter has struggled to retain advertisers as Musk's changes to the site have led to some fear. It's, not a safe place for brands to market. So, as we all know now, Musk recently hired former NBC Universal Advertising executive Linda Yaccarino as CEO, and that's seen as a move to help reassure advertisers, which is working. And in a message recently, Yaccarino said that the name change, she said of the name change, our usage is at an all-time high. I don't know why I went into an English accent then. I just do it from time to time. Just live with it. All right, our usage is at an all-time high, and we'll continue to delight our entire community with new experiences in audio, video, messaging, payments, banking, creating a global marketplace for ideas, goods, services, and opportunities. He's gone Amazon. Yes. X, as it is now called, is going to be its own ecosystem, its own universe. I mean, think about it. They want to, everybody, everything, everywhere, all at once is trying to do the same thing. You go to Las Vegas, right? They have these hotels. They're not hotels. It's a resort, right? By the way, we all need a resort, a resorting things. Okay, so I'm going to using these play on words because I'm going to show you in a few minutes an astounding word that has significance in a way you never knew. I promise you, you've never seen this before, and it will blow your mind or, make you curious, depending on how you look at it. All right. So Amazon, own world, Threads, X, all of them, right? Different universes, right? So how did Amazon start out? Selling books, right? Amazon started out selling books. Yes, that's how it started out. And now what does it do? Everything. Where? Everywhere. When? All at once. All right. So yes, X will be another universe and part of the multi-universe, right? The multiverse. Elon likes the letter X, right? X AI, SpaceX, and now he's renamed Twitter X. Will it work? Who knows? Nobody. Not everything Elon does works out. But a lot of what he does works out, right? Some things certainly have, and I wouldn't bet against him. I don't bet anyway, but you get my point, right? So Tesla almost failed, though. SpaceX almost failed. Really? Yes. You see, so did Amazon, right? They were all FedEx. I mean, it started out delivering one package, right? Its first delivery program was one package, and the plane took off, and had it not, and they'd given up, we wouldn't have FedEx today. I'm not going to get into the good about that, but you get my point, right? So these companies, SpaceX and Tesla, were literally hours from the money running completely dry and them both being out of business. Catastrophe was imminent. Elon faced total failure right in the face, stared it down. Now, you may or may not know this, but Elon made 180 million. That was his share when they sold PayPal. Now, at that point, he could have walked off into the sunset, right? And spent a life of freedom and, frankly, complete excess, right? But instead, he chose to do the impossible. Not that creating PayPal was exactly easy, right? I mean, PayPal was a completely new groundbreaking concept. People thought competing with banks and the credit card companies was ludicrous. Pun intended. He started an EV company and a space company to get us to Mars. It's just ridiculous. Even more ludicrous. He even thought so himself. He said the chances are pretty slim, but he thought, I'll give it a shot. Moonshot. Oh yeah, but now we can't use that anymore, right? Because it's Mars. Shoot for Mars. Mars shot could become a new saying. All right. But, shooting from the moon now seems pretty weak, doesn't it? Right? Elon ruined that. All right. So he said, I'll put 90 million into this, right? Into these two companies, not each, between the two. And, I'll still have $90 million to live well. If it doesn't work out, I'll give it a shot. All right. We'll try it. All right. So he was delusional. Some people say, finally, someone else recognizes this guy's delusional. But I don't mean like that. He was delusional thinking that 90 million would be enough. It wasn't. He needed more. So he thought, okay, I'll put 110 in. Should be enough. It wasn't. So he put in 140. Yep, you're right. Still not enough. So he put in 160. Surely at that point, he's going to take his 20 million and keep it and not have to work another day in his life. Nope. He put the whole $180 million in. What an idiot. Right? He went all in. Now, how many people would have done that? Right now, I can only think of one, right? So he went all in. So all his money was gone. What was he living off? His friends. He was sleeping on his friends' sofas. If you remember, he would even sleep at the factory. Do you remember that? He went all in for his dreams, for his mission, vision, and purpose. You see the power, right? He said that life would not have been worth living had he not gone all in for his dream, for his mission, his vision, and his purpose. So what are you saying, Stephen? I've got to have a mission, vision, and purpose that I would die for? Yep. Okay, so both businesses, Tesla and SpaceX, were about to run out of money, right? Listen, not according to me, according to what happened, okay? So he had to make a decision, didn't he? Everyone told him, Elon, you can't save them both. You have to pick one. Put whatever money you have left into one of them, and you got to let the other one die. Elon said, what? If you have two children and they are both going to die and you had to pick one of them to feed, how would you decide? He said, I can't choose. I'm going to feed them both. And he did. And they both survived. There was no certainty. There was no data to support his decision. In fact, the opposite. Everyone, everywhere, all at once, said he was making a big mistake. That both companies were now bound to die. But they were wrong and he was right. How come? How did he make that decision? He made that decision, write this down. He made that decision with his CIA. Yeah, CIA. What does CIA stand for? Central Intelligence Agency. Huh? Yeah. Elon did what his heart told him was the only decision to make. You see, your heart is your CIA, your Central Intelligence Agency. Your heart has more neurons. Neurons are cells of intelligence than your brain. Huh? I know. Who knew? The ancients. The ancients knew? Yeah. Didn't the ancients used to say, live from your heart, speak from your heart? That if something is true, it will be heartfelt. Well, you may not have known that, but they did. Okay. So we are going to get to the heart of the matter. to the heart of matter. And as we'll see, it doesn't really matter. I know, play on words. But listen, even the smartest people on the planet have always known this. Elon knows this, right? Jack Ma has also said that, right? And we'll look at that in a second. All right, so we are going to get you tuned into your heart and your intuition. Yes, I know that sounds very esoteric, very flowery, and perhaps even ludicrous, but it isn't. All right, I will share with you the science and the technology actually later in this episode. Yes, you've got that to look forward to. You're going, Stephen, I got to go to the store. Listen, go later. Now, we are not there yet. So stop asking and leave your sister alone. All right, so we're going to explore our own CIA. The heart, as you will discover, much more than an organ that just pumps blood. I'm going to share with you extraordinary, revolutionary information about the heart and how your heart and intuition. Oh, now you're really getting woo. Stay with me. I'm going to show you how your heart and intuition play a central role in your future and the future of humanity. Hence, CIA. All right. Elon's unshakable faith told him exactly what he needed to do. His faith was pushed to the absolute limit. He had to let go of the material world. He was no longer attached to money and fame. Now, having put all his money in, he'd already made the decision, I'm just going to go for this. You know, I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for money. I'm sleeping on my friend's sofa in a factory right now. So he'd let go of the fear of humiliation and the potential loss of his dream. So Elon has been through hell and come back. He sees success and failure as two sides of the same coin, which of course they are. They're two imposters, right? He has devoted his life to the pursuit of a better life, not just for himself and his family, but for the entire civilization of planet Earth and planet Mars, all right? He had to believe in something much greater than anything on Earth, any earthly possession. You see, possessions, as the word implies, possess us. That is why less is more. The less you have, the less you own, the less that possesses you, the more freedom you have. Yes, I know. It sounds crazy, but it's true. What did I tell you? The truth will set you free. But first, what? It will drive you crazy. So he had to have more than belief. He has to have even more than conviction, which is the next level of belief. So after conviction, what comes next? He had to have faith. Faith is more powerful than any belief or conviction. Faith is the ultimate power. You cannot think faith. Faith is something you feel in your heart and you demonstrate in your actions. We need to have faith in a higher power. And I'm not getting religious, right? Although we are going to look at religions later in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Not to get you into a religion. If you've got one, great. If you don't, fine. But to show you how, in truth, there's that word again, all these religions basically say the same thing at their core. Now, once he gets into ego and man-made ideas and fear and all that, we've lost the plot, right? Lost the thread. Threads. Anyway, so we'll look at what it means to have faith in a higher power and how to actualize that faith. Now, what I just shared with you there about Elon is not some made-up story. That is all true. Call him. He'll tell you. You can seriously look on YouTube and find that interview. But anyway, the reason I tell you this story is because there are some key ingredients in Elon's story that are elemental to living a life of freedom. Here they are. Number one, as I've already talked about, having a mission, vision, and purpose. A mission, vision, and purpose that means more than life itself, that drives everything, right? Being prepared to stand up for what you believe in, even in the face of vehement opposition, ridicule, and betrayal. Letting go of attachment to the material. Sorry, so that's number 2, right? Being prepared to stand up for what you believe in, even in the face of vehement opposition, ridicule, and betrayal. Number 3, letting go of attachment to the material world. You know, this is where phrases can be misinterpreted. You've all heard the phrase, it is more difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to slip through the eye of a needle, right? And it's true. You know, I have been trying to stuff camels through needles and I've not been. Anyway, so here's the point. The message, the phrase means that most people are attached. When people become rich, they become attached to their material things, right? And to enter the world of the kingdom of heaven, you can't take it with you. It won't fit. Listen, you know how land here is, it's getting, heaven is packed. I'm joking. You know what I mean, right? So you can't take a camel and slip it through the eye of a needle because of its humps, and it can't take its humps off. You with me? Anyway, hopefully you got that point. So letting go of attachment to the material world is the secret to freedom, because the more attached you are to the earthly realm, the more fear you have of losing it, right? So, but we can live on the earthly plane here on this pleasant, wonderful flying machine, right? This spacecraft flying through the solar system at 1,000 miles an hour. I know, and it feels nothing. I'm not even strapped in. And if we can let go of attachment to it, we become more free. And that's why less is more. So letting go of attachment to the material world, letting go of attachment to money and fame, seeing them as the imposters they are. So I'm going to help you work on your mission, vision, and purpose. Thank you, Stephen. You're welcome. So I'm going to help you light a fire under your unique creative spirit, your gifts. Yes, you do have gifts. Some of you going, nobody, where am I? They're inside you. I'm going to help you bring them out, right? I'm going to help you bring them out and pour them out into the world. And so, look, what you don't use, you lose, right? Yeah. Stephen, I lose things that I do use. I lose my keys and I need them, right? But you lose what you don't use, right? What we are given as gifts, if we don't use them, we lose them. And as we use the gifts that we are given, more will be given unto us. Wasn't there a story about 7 talents or something like that? Yes, I know you know there was, right? So if we are given gifts and we hide them, then we're depriving ourselves and others of experiencing them, right? So we're here to put them out into the world, to sell them to the world. I am not a salesperson. Don't even dare say that. I hate salespeople. Listen, if you're not selling your kids on the right way to live, there's somebody else out there selling them on the wrong way to live. So you're in sales, whether you like it or not, right? Look, if we don't use our gifts, like I said, we deprive ourselves and others of experiencing them. If we don't put them out into the world, and to put them out into the world, you got to share them, you got to sell them. But sometimes people take a minute to realize how valuable they are, right? And so you got to convince them. But the more you convince them, you convince yourself, right? And what I do for you, I also do for me. What I fail to do for you, I also fail to do for me. So we're all on this flying spaceship together. And we all need to come together to save the spaceship, right? Because we have something called, have you heard about this, climate change? Yeah. We have environmental issues. We're overfishing our seas. We're overplasticating the world. We've got some challenges, we've got some existential threats, not just AI, not just quantum computing, not just Brian, your next door neighbor, but we've got some big issues, right? So we're going to talk about them, right? And nothing is certain until we make it certain. And that's why we're all in this together. Yes, you. Not you thinking, oh, the other, 2 billion people that are watching Stephen's video, that'll be good, are they're responsible. But me, what can little old me do? A lot. Okay. So is this going to be challenging? Yep. Is everything not just going to work out perfectly every time? No. What? Steve, you're not doing a very good job of selling this. I thought you talked about everybody's in sales. You're hopeless. Look, will X succeed? Who knows? Isn't that part of the excitement of life, though? Don't we need some uncertainty? We need to be certain that we're going to give it a shot. We need to be certain about certain things, but there's got to be some uncertainty or it would be boring. There'd be no excitement. Why do people go to sports games? Because they like the hot dogs? Maybe, but not, well, maybe some people, but to watch the games and get excited, right? And what creates excitement? Uncertainty. All right. So when you have faith, it doesn't matter. Pun intended. So we're going to be working on helping you build that unshakable faith. First, we need to show you exactly what is going on right now. What does all this chaos and mayhem mean? What is coming? So that you're prepared and ready to take advantage of all these technologies and resources in order to make your mission, vision, and purpose a reality. So you can put your creative gifts out into the world. What are they? I have no idea right now, but we're going to figure it out. So not put them out into the simulated reality, but the real reality. All right, so we've got red pill reality and real reality. I just come up with these terms like so creative. All right. Might need to be a new term going forward, especially with what is coming. Yes, I know this is ridiculous. You might even say impossible, and you'd be correct. Will it be uncomfortable? Yep. Scary? Absolutely. You're being totally unreasonable. Yep, I know, but the world is not run by reasonable people, just so you know. It's run by unreasonable people. All right. Some people are at the point now saying, this is going on a while. Do I have time to wash my face before we take this trip? No, you look fine. You can wash your face later. Come on, the spaceship is leaving. Let's go. Are you on board? Okay. Now, on a commercial flight, they tell you, you got to stow your tray table, put your seat back in the upright position, and fasten your seatbelt. Only they usually say it faster, so you're not exactly sure what they said. However, we are not flying commercial. We are flying MVP. As a most valuable person on the way to your mission, your vision, and your purpose. All right. So this is your very own spaceship in your very own universe. So you can travel however you want, just like flying in your own private jet. There is no such thing as constraints. You can sit how and where you want. Just chillax, relax, and enjoy the flight. Now, I've got to finish your pre-flight safety information. These things you need to know before we take off so that you're fully prepared for the amazing transformational journey upon which you are about to embark very soon. Okay, so we look at other universes real quick. We're going to look at, here's a quote from Jack Ma. Remember I mentioned him earlier? Yes. So for those of you who are not familiar with Jack, he founded many companies. He's a billionaire. He owns a company called Alibaba. Yeah, Alibaba. In China. And he says that right now we have a war is going on, a revolution. And this revolution is the AI revolution, quantum physics revolution. All these revolutions are happening. And we are in a fight with all this technology. And that fight is a reflection of an inner fight that's going on within us. We'll talk about that later too. But he said, in the end, humanity will win. And when pushed as to why, he said, because we humans possess something that all this technology does not possess. Even if it becomes sentient and has intelligence. You see, we humans have wisdom, and that wisdom comes from the heart. Told you, see? So only fools use their mouth to speak. A smart man uses his brain, and a wise man uses his heart, just as Elon did, right? And so these people that are creating these incredible results are accessing a technology that most people are not. So I'm going to show you how to access that same technology that lies in your heart. I know. That's amazing, right? Genius. Okay. All right. So here, gaming. We talked about gaming. The world of gaming has blossomed into a captivating universe. All right, distinct and separate from everyday reality. Across the globe, thousands of passionate gaming enthusiasts gather in arenas to witness their favorite players compete for prestigious titles and substantial rewards. This phenomenon serves as a testament to the immense popularity and wide-ranging influence that gaming has garnered, elevating it from a mere hobby to a celebrated and fiercely competitive platform, as you can see. Right? Lots of examples of these have already, already live in the multiverse, right? So I'm giving you all these examples so you can see that these already exist. Another one is, of course, YouTube, right? YouTube influencers, the new age job market. Who are these YouTube influencers and what do they do? Well, you've probably heard of or about them. And if you haven't, these are individuals that have amassed substantial following on the platform, leveraging their influence to guide and sway their audience's decisions. They provide guidance on everything from purchases, fashion choices, even activities. And they do that often in collaboration with product manufacturers. And their compensation can be substantial, right? And this goes back to what I said earlier. Our parents used to say, get off that YouTube. It's a waste of time. How are you going to go and get a job? Right. And now there are a lot of these YouTubers are millionaires or even multi-millionaires. So in this new era of digital influence, this has emerged as an enticing employment opportunity, creating a unique landscape where creativity, charisma, and innate understanding of audiences and their preferences can pave the way to a lucrative career. Now, this is only one example of a new industry created out of new technology and social media. So the question is, can we create enough jobs to replace the ones that are surely going to be wiped out due to AI and its spin-off technologies? And the short answer is a resounding no, we can't. What? Stephen, I thought this was supposed to be a positive program. It is, but it's also real. I know, now you're going to question reality. All right. So, but the bottom line is this. We have to face the truth and we have to deal with it and then come up with a solution, right? You can't just look out of your window. Let's say you have you live in a house and, Tony Robbins used to do this all the time, right? He would say, listen, it's no good looking out the kitchen window at your garden, right? And the garden is full of weeds. And you're standing there looking out of the kitchen window going, there are no weeds in my garden. There are no weeds in my garden. It's positive. Is it changing the garden? No. The weeds are taking over. What have we got to do? We've got to do something about that. We have to go and pluck those weeds, spend 3 days. No, we don't. We get a landscaper. Easy for you to say, Stephen, you've got all this money and no, you can do it too. I'm going to show you, right? It's part of the program as well. How are you going to build wealth? How are you going to create the freedom? How are you going to give these creative gifts? I know. All right. So we're going to look at a new era of work. It's not going to be work. It's going to be your passion, your mission, vision, and purpose, right? Okay. All right. YouTube is another universe unto itself. All right. And then we've got things like, basic things like, cell phones and watches, right? So they give us access to the multiverse, just like Google does and Yahoo does. And was that the one we talked about? Bing, right? Okay. So in this new era of digital advancements, we're witnessing an unparalleled fusion of technology with our daily lives. Our smartphones, smartwatches, smart earphones have transcended their status as mere gadgets. They become indispensable extensions of ourselves. Literally, I mean, think about it. You got your phone, right? And if you forget it, you leave it somewhere, you drop it in the Uber. Not that I've ever done that, but I know people who have. It freaks you out, right? Because everything is in there. I know. All right. And I think Elon Musk was talking about this. He lost his phone and he was at a party. And they said, why don't you call call this person, call anybody. I don't know their number. It's in their phone. It's just their name. We don't remember numbers anymore. I can still remember my phone number from when I was a kid. Yeah, I had to, because I had to give it to people all the time, right? And what we would do is we pick up the phone, we would say the number to make sure the person was calling the right number. But now we don't know any of that stuff. It's like, most people can't live without a calculator, let alone a phone, right? Or a computer. So how could we have them in a place where we would never have to worry about losing them? Yeah, see, I didn't even need to tell you, right? They're going to become part of us. Oh, the chip. Yep, it's coming. It's already here, actually. We put chips in animals, right? Now, for those of you who are English like me, we call French fries chips. We're not talking about those kind of chips. We're talking about, electronic chips, right? The chips that run the world, right? The reason we can't let China invade Taiwan right now, because they got all the chips. They're holding all the chips. Okay, all right. So these things are and will continue to reshape our lives, our work dynamics, and revolutionize our interactions with the world around us. Cell phones are much more than phones, of course. They provide us with access to the multiverse. They're going to be an integral part, not just of our lives, but as we will see, an integral part of our bodies. Yes, I know. Stephen, I'm getting depressed. You're going to be happy. Computers getting smaller, right? Again, are going to be part of us. All right. Uber, Lyft. Look at this, right? Ride sharing has become so pervasive, it's hard to remember when we had to hail a cab, right? It's easy, usually. Clean, usually. Reliable, usually. No need to find cash or credit cards, so you can pay the driver. It's to pay the driver. It's frictionless travel, but soon to be as outdated as hailing a cab, as we shall see. All right. I know this is a lot, and we're just getting started. How are you feeling? Are you feeling a little overwhelmed? Well, if you're not, you're just not paying attention, so just be aware of that. Okay, now, let's see. In our interconnected world today, it's all too easy to become lost amidst the constant influx of information and distractions. Each passing moment seems to bring forth a new event, an update, or a crisis, all vying for our what? Attention. So this overwhelming onslaught often leaves us in a perpetual state of distraction, a self-preserving response to our ever-alert minds to avoiding becoming overwhelmed, right? However, amidst the cacophony and chaos of our personal lives, careers, finances, and global events, it is essential that we pause and reflect. What truly unfolds around us? What's really going on? You see, chaos is just another form of order, part of the natural process of growth and evolution. I'm going to demonstrate this to you in a future episode, so you can actually witness this occurring. But changes in our world and our society happen in the same way. The current systems have to break down as new and better systems emerge. It may seem like chaos in the process, when in actual fact, if we look at it from a higher perspective, and we will, the chaos we perceive from our limited perspective is just nature taking its course. What we need is to find certainty and meaning to get us through the process. Just like when we want to build a muscle or muscles, right? We have to break them down first so they can grow back stronger. As the muscle is broken down, it goes into chaos and then reforms even stronger. Now, as the muscle is breaking down, simultaneously, the body is starting to rebuild the muscle. Both the breaking down of the muscle and the rebuilding the muscle occur concurrently. Put a new word in there. They are not separate or exclusive of one another, easy for me to say, of one another. They are both happening at the same time and are inclusive of each other. Like I said, this is a natural process. So in the same way, the muscle goes through this process, we are going through the same process. When? Now, where? In everything, everywhere, all at once, right? So we are going through the same process. We are seeing our old systems falling away as new and better, stronger, even more dynamic systems replace them. Now there comes an inflection point when the process, or when in the process, both are very apparent. Like when your muscles ache or they hurt, they work that happens when the muscle is breaking down. Yet at the same time, it starts to feel good because you know that pain, that aching, is a sign that the muscle is actually growing back stronger. This is where we are right now. This is always occurring, just like as you go through your day and you walk around, you're strengthening muscles. You're not aware your body is breaking down and repairing itself constantly. The process is usually so slow, we're not aware of it. Just like if you see someone you haven't seen in a long time, and the changes can be shocking. But to them and the people around them or close to them, they don't notice because the changings are happening for them relatively slowly, right? The changes are gradual. So what would happen if you didn't move around? A lot of people don't, right? But your body will atrophy and you'll eventually be unable to move, right? I mean, just like I said, what you don't use, you lose. So the difference is that now the process is happening on such a massive scale, and rapid, radical, revolutionary change is happening at radical, revolutionary speed. Where? In everything, everywhere, all at once. It's just so pervasive that you can't deny it's happening, and it's rocking our lives and our world. We are now faced with two options: try to escape reality or embrace it. So the challenge right now and moving forward is the speed and scope of the systems breaking down and the new emerging systems coming into everything, everywhere, all at once. How much of all this rapid, radical, revolutionary, and exponential change, how many of these things hold genuine significance to us individually, and how much is merely adding to the noise? Understanding this distinction is paramount to not only surviving, but to thrive in a world seemingly designed to inundate us. So there's tremendous uncertainty, as we said, about the future, what it holds, and how we individuals fit into this new world of multiverses. What does all this mean? Now, as we said earlier, we need at least some certainty in order to function effectively. We need to find certainty and meaning in all this chaos and mayhem in our lives. Okay, that's what we're here to do. So just hang in there. All right, so now let's take a look at time. Okay. All right, so it's a fascinating paradox that despite having access to countless time-saving technologies, we find ourselves more pressed for time than ever before, right? While our ancestors may have accomplished less in a day, they seemingly had more time for pursuits, personal pursuits and family, right? In contrast, today, many of us scramble to complete never-ending to-do lists, leaving little room for leisure or meaningful family interactions. This raises the crucial question about how we prioritize our time and seek balance in an increasingly fast-paced world. So despite the technological advances designed to expedite our tasks, it appears that we are still striving to master our own time management. Okay, so let me ask you this. What if you had a small army of college grads to do everything you need to get done? What if they were free? Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy, but stick with me. Because we can actually use AI in this manner, like having an army of college graduates to do everything for us. I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me ask you this. Time is what? Okay. Did you think I'll say money? I can tell you 99% of the population of the world think and say that time is money. How many times have you heard that? Yeah, more than once, I'm sure, right? So first things first, we need to revisit how we think about time. So time is not money. What? Stephen, now you're going really bananas or crazy or insane. Everybody knows that time is money. No. Everybody believes that time is money. But what have we said about beliefs? That they're not true. We just make them up, or they're made up for us, right? And like I said in the first episode, the first reaction to that, like I had my first reaction was, well, maybe your beliefs aren't true, but mine are. I feel certain about them. That's what a belief is. It's an idea that we feel certain about. And that's all it is. Where do we get the certainty? From the references that support the idea, the belief. We have enough legs on it. We got a belief. But sweep the legs away and you'll see that that belief will come crashing down. So let's take a look at time is money. Okay, well, can you replace money? Don't mess with me. Yes, you can replace money. It might not be easy. You might have to go get a job and you might have to work hard for it, but you can replace it, correct? Yes, and besides the fact we print it anyway. Now, can you replace time? No. So how can it be the same thing? They're not. It's a mind trick. Remember Star Wars? Yeah. Well, the wealthy are doing Jedi mind tricks on us all the time, right? Time is not money. I just I swept the legs away from that belief. What is it then? I'm going to show you. All right. So look, we have to challenge our existing beliefs, because if we don't have the life the way we want it to be right now, something's got to change. And what we tend to do is try and fight to change the world outside of us, when what we really need to do is be fighting to change the world inside of us, right? Because if you change the internal world, what happens to the projection on the screen? Different world. We can do this from within. Yes, as my friend Bill Moore says, Stephen, it's an inside job. No, yes. You mean that I've been going out there and trying to change that external world and it keeps snapping back to the way it was because I haven't changed what I believe? Yes, write that down. So you ask a lot of questions, I noticed. All right, calm down. All right, now if we believe the same things, we think the same things, we say the same things, we do the same things, what can we expect? A nightmare. The same thing, right? Or it's going to get worse, right? So what's the definition of insanity? What? Did you say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? No, it's me. If you look in the dictionary under insanity, you'll see there's a picture of me. I'm the poster child. Well, at least there should be, right? I did the same thing over and over again for most of my life. And as you can see, I'm still a young man. Listen, it's all relative, right? So I did that for most of my life, right? And most of you are going to be a lot younger than I am, right? So we don't want to do that for as long as I have. So I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. Did I learn from it? Eventually. All right. So if you change your mind, you change your life. Change your beliefs even better, because you're going to change your world. You're going to change the world that you create, the universe that you create. Most people believe that time is money and they don't have any of it, right? Either of them, right? Because they give up their time for a pittance of money instead of getting money to work for them. Guess who's going to show you how to do that? No, my brother-in-law. Yes, me, right? I'm going to show you how to do that, right? So most people give up their time to make money and they do something they don't like to get the money, correct? So I'm going to show you how to live with passion, as my friend Tony Robbins says, right? Live with passion. We're going to find your passion, put it into a mission, vision, and purpose, and we're going to use technology to do the work. All right. So People will work a job or even a profession. In other words, they give up their time for what? For money. However, the wealthy do not give up their time to make money. So what do? How do they get it then? Well, they stole it, of course. Okay, kidding. Kind of. All right. So what the wealthy do is they value their time more than money. They will give up money so they don't have to do it. So they keep their time, right? And that's a huge shift, right? A huge shift in consciousness. So I am going to show you how to get your time back by using the most powerful force in nature and the primary principle in the creation of wealth. What is that? Tell you. It's okay. So we'll get there. So what the wealthy do is they value their time more than money. They don't give up their time to make money. What do? They make money work for them, and they're using a natural force and a force of nature to do that. So what if you have no money to start with? That's what I'm getting to. All right. So we start with changing our beliefs about money. So yes, there is going to be financial education with this program. I know, it's boring. I'll make it fun. All right. So we have so far agreed that time is not money. I know you're thinking, Stephen, I don't know. I made that agreement. Well, you've taken the red pill, so you're in. Beliefs are not true. They're all made up. They're programmed into our minds. We make them true by thinking and speaking them and acting on our beliefs, and then they become real and become manifest, right? They become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we want the beliefs to be programmed into our minds so our reality, our self-fulfilling prophecy, becomes the life of our dreams. This is the process of creation. And we're going to spend much, much more time on this. But for right now, let's take a look at what money really is, all right? So let's look at money. Anytime. Money is energy. It's a form of exchange of energy that we've utilized. It used to be gold, right? Pieces of 8. Yeah. So, but it got dangerous to carry all that gold or silver and pieces of 8 on you. So these people called bankers came along and said, put your money in this vault and I will take care of it. Here, I will give you a piece of paper. It's a receipt, so you can come and get it whenever you want. And little by slow, they detach the gold from the pieces of paper. And now they can just print as much as they want. I know, it's magic. It's a Jedi mind trick. Okay, but money is a form of energy, right? Now, think of electricity. It's an energy, isn't it? It's a form of energy, right? Now, neither Tesla or Edison invented electricity. It's been around since the beginning of time. Earth is electrical in nature, right? Which we're going to talk about that in a minute too. Now, what Tesla and Edison figured out was how to harness this energy, electricity, and by doing so, they were able to light up the world, right? Well, money's the same. If you know how to harness energy, it becomes a power. So money is energy and gives you a power. Now, if you don't know how to harness it, which most people don't know how to do, they just make money from a job. And what do they do with it? They spend it on what? Stuff. Why? To feel better, because they live a life of distraction. Because they don't think or believe. They don't believe they could ever be wealthy. Well, you're going to have millions of dollars. I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to make $1 million in my whole life in this job. I can never be wealthy, or beliefs like that. But beliefs have power, remember? Projecting those beliefs onto the screen. Yes. Okay. I feel certain this is what I can believe in. I'm in my comfort zone. So maybe we're going to write this down. Life begins. My life begins at the end of my comfort zone. Stephen, but everyone says stay comfortable. I know, with a line. We're going to get uncomfortable, right? So money is a form of energy and it becomes a power, and we know how to harness it. I'm going to show you how to harness it. And when you know how to harness that money and it becomes a power, how is that power exerted in the world? It gives you a voice. What you say has power. Your power of your voice is amplified. It's like having a megaphone, right? People hear you. People listen to you. No money? Don't know how to harness it? Nobody listens to you. They don't pay attention to you. Oh, that's the worst, isn't it? No one gives you attention. No one pays you respect. You got money, you get respect. I want money. Confusion, right? Confusion. But point in case, money is a power and it gives you a voice. And it gives you privileges and choices that people without it don't get, correct? But if you don't have a voice, you can die. What? Yeah, I'm not kidding. Did you know that 25,000 men, women, and children die each day on planet Earth of starvation? 10,000 of those 25,000 are children. Yeah, let that sink in. Now, I know that it's because, well, we just can't get them the food, Stephen. There's just no way to get them. And there's just not enough food, right? And, just the way it is. No, that's not it. That's not the truth. So here's the truth. And you're not going to like it, but it is the truth. The reason 25,000 men, women, and children die every single day on planet Earth is not because there isn't enough food. We let them die. Yes, we let them die. Well, I mean, Stephen, how am I going to get them the food? Don't give me a problem. Give me a solution, right? So here's the bottom line. I said it again. That's 3 times, right? So the reason that those 25,000 men, women, and children die is not because we can't feed them. Any government on earth could feed them. We throw away more food every day in America than we needed to feed them all for a year, right? No government steps in because those people don't have any monetary value. They don't have a job. They don't create money. And so we let them die. You see, they represent a flaw in our system. Because if any government or anybody was to feed them all, well, you feed them today, what are you going to do tomorrow? You got to feed them again. And then again. And again. And again. And again. And if you feed them, you got to house them. Because what's the point of feeding them and then dying because of the environment? You got to house them. You're going to feed them, you're going to house them, you're going to clothe them. You're going to feed them, you're going to house them, you're going to clothe them, you're going to put shoes on their feet. And then you've got all these other people that are going to work hard every day, looking around going, hold on a second. These people don't work. They don't add any monetary value to the system. And yet they get food, water, housing, clothes, shoes, and they hang out every day and have fun. I think I'm going to join them. Do you think I'm crazy? No. This is why they die. You see, if they had a voice, you'd be able to hear them as they die right now. But you can't because they don't have any amplification. You can't hear them. Now, what I do for you, I also do for me. What I failed to do for you, I also failed to do for me. And that works for you too. And if we don't save those people, if we don't do something about it, it's on us. And it's already coming home here to America now. Listen, it used to be Feed Africa. You know what the number one charity here in the United States is today? Is Feed America. 1 in 8 children goes to bed hungry every single night. So listen, what we're doing here is not about just you. It's about us, right? And it's about our future and how we need to come together. And our brothers and sisters around the world that are suffering are a part of us, not apart from us. And it's time now for us to step up, to get out of our comfort zone, and to take advantage of these technologies that are here for us to create what we've always wanted to have. So, and you know what it is. We must treasure our time much more than money. We need both. But look, this is about a massive transformative purpose, right? You're going to have your mission, vision, and purpose, but we need to come behind, as Peter Diamandis says, a massive transformative purpose. All right. So we need both. We need time and money, but the way you get both is to value your time more than money. We need to reprogram our brains, right? And what we said, you know, we're told if you want the job done, what? Don't even need to finish it, right? The harder you work, really? How's that working for you? Right? There's no such thing as free. None of these beliefs are true. In fact, the opposite is true. All right, so you go, wait a minute, Stephen, you just said there's no such thing as free money. We all know there's no such thing as free money, right? No, there is. What? Yes. Oh, come on. Okay, I will. Look, I'm sure you have a bank account, right? Yeah. Okay, so you put your money in the bank, yeah. And when you put the money in the bank, how much does the bank give you for your money? Well, they give me interest. I put it in a money market account, or I put it in a CD, or, you know, I have an interest-bearing account. Listen, when do they pay you the money? Do they give you the money as soon as you put the money in the bank? Do they give you money? No, they don't. They pay you at the end of the year, correct? Yes. So you give them your money for free. They take your money and invest it. They make a massive profit. What's their profit? It's infinite. We'll talk about that later. They make a profit and they pay you a pittance out of the profit they make using your money. How much did Chase Bank make last year? How much did Bank of America make? How much did all these banks make last year? Now, I know you're going to talk to me about, you know, SVB and Republic Bank and these banks doing out of business, but they took your money for free and they still screwed it up. I mean, how crazy is that, right? So they invested in such risky investments that you wouldn't have agreed to it if they said, hey, listen, John, I'm calling you up because here we are at SVB Bank, and we're just thinking about putting all your deposits into government bonds, which right now are paying this percent. Now, just to let you know, if the market changes, that could be reduced and we could lose all your money. Are you in? No, but they didn't have to ask you. Why? Because they don't have to. You gave them your money for free. It's your fault. Stop it. We're going to show you how to do things differently. But we give them their money. We give them money for free, and then they can go print more money. In addition to the money you gave them for free, they can leverage that money. I use the word, write it down. Number one principle in the creation of wealth, leverage. I want to talk a lot more about leverage. All right. So they take your money, you give it to them for free, and then they print more of it. And they can still screw it up. I know. So look, that is why 1% of the population are wealthy, because they understand these concepts and principles. Now, here's the good news. I'm going to brainwash you into understanding and using these principles so you're going to become wealthy, whether you like it or not, because we need you, right? 99% of the population are struggling financially. Now, listen, we're mammals. In nature, we're considered to be a mammal. Listen, no other mammal in nature has a situation where 99% of all the other mammals in their tribe, in the species, is broke and 1% gets to hang out in luxury. It doesn't happen in nature. Nor do more of the species die at any given time of the week than another. But we can pull that off, right? And you know when that is? Monday morning, right? Between 8 and 9 a.m. We have unnatural circumstances. We live on a natural life. And if it isn't natural, if it isn't aligned with nature, it's insane. Insanity. We live in an insane world. Yes, that does mean you shouldn't go outside or probably on the internet, but we have to be able to do those things and stay sane ourselves. I'm going to help you with that. But the bottom line is the circumstances, the situation, the reality we live in is not natural. It's not aligned with nature. So we've got to get back to our nature, right? Yes. All right. This is not the natural order of things. So 1% are programmed to be wealthy, all right? And the 1% that program the masses. What? Yes, they've used all the tools. They own the media. No way. Oh, come on, you knew that. So beliefs are powerful, correct? Yes. We live in a world of make-believe, all right? So the 1% use all these resources, these technologies, and they leverage them to brainwash the minds of the people to believe whatever they want them to believe. So we live in a world of make-believe. Are you trying to tell me that Snow White is true? 100%. And there are fairies? Absolutely. Goblins? All the way. All right, hang on. Look, what I'm saying is once the 1% can make us believe something, we're going to make it real for them. We're going to manifest it for them. All right. So yes, we live in a world of make-believe. So let's get back to the fairies and the goblins and Snow White and making this the world we want to live in rather than the world that they want us to live in, right? So you need to make yourself believe the truth. I'm going to help you. So we need to get back to the natural order of things. Time is our most precious resource after our health, right? Because let's face it, if you don't have your health, you don't want any more time, right? So the first step to regaining control over your life and having the freedom you crave is regaining control of your mind. Like we said, our beliefs, right? But also that's part of it by getting our mind and our beliefs in alignment with the forces of nature, right? So that will give us back the freedom we all crave and regaining our time. So we've talked about money and what it really is. Let's talk about time. So wealth is not measured in money. Huh? I know. Look, if you're rich, you make a lot of money. But you not necessarily, it doesn't mean you're wealthy. Listen, you could be making $1 million a year and you could spend 2 million and you're broke, right? So being rich doesn't mean you're wealthy. So what does wealthy mean? It means having more money. No, it doesn't. So wealth is measured in time. I know. Look, let's say you have $60,000. No, I'm not giving you $60,000. I'm just saying, let's imagine, use your imagination, right? So we're starting to use the tools we're talking about. Imagine $60,000. What does that look like? Feel good? Now, you got $60,000. Some of you are going, no, Stephen, because I had 6 million until you said that. And now anyway, so you got 60,000, all right? And let's just say your monthly expenses are $5,000 a month, okay? I'm not arguing with you whether they are or they aren't. I'm just saying, imagine that for a minute. Okay, so now $5,000 a month. So how long can you live in that lifestyle, the $5,000 a month lifestyle, and not have to work? 60,000 divided by 5,000 is 12, isn't it? Right? So now you could live off that money for 1 year, correct? So your wealth is how long? 1 year. And what we want to be able to do is create generational wealth, right? Right? So we can spoil our children. No, so that our children can make different choices, right? So when they are growing up, instead of thinking I got to go get a job and make some money so I can live, be stressed out, never have time for my family, get divorced, get old and sick and die of cancer. That's not what we want. What we want is for them to be able to live life on their terms, right? To have a passion, a mission, a vision, and a purpose so that they can live a life of freedom. And that money is not a problem, not a concern, because we've shown them how to live an abundant life. I know. Would that be a different world? I thought so too. Okay, well, let's do it. Okay, so we're going to look at how you can use the primary principle in wealth creation. What is it? Write it down. You're never going to remember it all. Leverage, right? A principle not taught in any school or college. We're going to use leverage and other principles that I'm going to share with you, the 4 primary principles in the creation of wealth and the structure of wealth, so you can regain control of your time and reclaim your freedom. Okay, so most people are stressed out about time, right? Time is one of the biggest stresses for, well, almost everyone, everywhere, all at once, right? That is why it is crucial that we regain, which is an English version of the word regain. Okay, so we can regain our time and we can replace money, but we can never replace time. All right, how can we get more time? By using the natural forces of nature, right? Leverage is one of them, right? So what if I told you time doesn't even exist? Yeah, I know. I told you we were going down the rabbit hole, didn't I? It's simply a concept to measure where the sun and the moon are in relationship to where we are, so we know when light will fade and, when the sun will rise, right? So what if I told you that we can collaborate with others in our endeavors so that we do less and have more? Yeah, it's a whole different world, right? What if we could use AI to do 90% of the tasks that need to get done so that we could do even less and have even more? More what? Time and money. More of what we really want, right? Really? Yes, really. I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's take a look at time from a different perspective and how we're going to access our unlimited potential that you know about, you've heard about. There's so many books about it. You've read all of it, right? We are amazing. We have this incredible potential, and yet not able to tap into it. I'm going to show you how, so that we can use this incredible potential to create the world we all want, desire, and have dreamed of. Okay, so come with me into another concept for a minute, another universe, if you like. So time, as we think about it, is linear, that we start, get up in the morning and there's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Not true. Time is not linear, it's vertical. So this picture here is showing time being vertical. So another way to imagine it would be like a cylinder or a glass of water, right? The water is full of little bits and pieces. I don't even know that. It's full of things, right? What am I talking about? Little tiny droplets within the water exist, right? And so we measure the movement through that glass of water as it taking time. But if you were just looking at the glass of water, everything from the bottom, the middle, and the top of the glass of water are all happening when? Everything, everywhere is happening all at once. Oops. Go back a second here. Where the heck did that end up there? All right. So everything is happening everywhere all at once, right? So we measure the movement through the one eternal moment in what we call time. So if one particle, thank you, just downloaded that. So in the glass of water, the water is full of particles. Some particles at the top, some are in the middle, some at the bottom, and then everything in between. All right. So the particle at the top exists at the same time as the particle at the bottom. But if one of those particles wanted to move from the bottom to the top, or the top to the bottom, it would take what we would call time. But everything that has ever happened is happening and ever will happen is happening in that glass of water. We are all in a glass of water. No, we're not. We're in a cylinder of time. All right. So the truth is, everything everywhere is happening all at once. And you go, well, that's great, Stephen, but how's that going to make me money? Stick with me. Well, if everything everywhere is happening all at once, then why does it feel like time is speeding up? Great question. Finally, asking some good questions. All right. Because our perception of time depends on frequency. Huh? Yeah. Specifically, the frequency, or what we might call the heartbeat of Mother Earth. You see, Earth has a frequency, a heartbeat. No way. This was first discovered by Nikola Tesla in 1898 when he was conducting experiments on the Earth. He discovered that the Earth has a frequency, and he measured it at 7.8 hertz, or 7.8 beats per second. Now, this frequency has been used in many things over the decades. In the 1950s, a scientist called Schumann took claim to it and called it the Schumann resonance, but it was discovered by Tesla. But this frequency, like I said, has been used for decades by governments for their uses, scientific uses, and also for military uses, right? So there is also research to suggest that the Earth's frequency, also, like I said, known as the Schumann resonance, has an effect on human activity and behavior. This frequency not only affects our behavior, it is the first point of cognition in our bodies. You know, for a long time in the human sciences, they thought that the first point of cognition was the electrical impulses in the mind. Turns out that the first point of cognition is when this frequency coming out of the Earth enters our bodies in our heart. And we don't feel it. We don't feel this frequency. We don't feel this pulsation, but any more than we feel the pulse on our wrist, right? Or in our neck, right? But it's there. Now, this frequency comes into our heart. Then our heart sends a signal to the brain. That's how it gets there. Yes. The brain then sends electrical signals to our body. We are also electrical in nature, right? So then the cells are taking this electrical energy, right? Down our meridians, down our bone lines, right? Down our nervous system. Then what happens next? The cells then reciprocate. They send the brain, they send signals back to the brain, telling the brain what's going on, how we're doing. Bit of pain down here. Can we get some energy? Right. Then the brain back to the heart, the central intelligence agency. Wait. Then the heart sends a signal back where? To the Earth. Doesn't your mother always want to know what's going on? Of course, she's your mother. You came from the Earth. Your body is the Earth. All the elements of the Earth are in you. You are the Earth. Now, would you like anybody to treat you the way we treat the Earth? Your body is made up mostly of water, isn't it? But you see, we pollute the waters of the Earth. We pollute ourselves. We pollute the Earth itself. We pollute ourselves because we are one with the Earth. Well, if anybody had told me that, Stephen, I wouldn't have thrown that stuff. Exactly. But I want you to think that way now, right? So you want to treat your body like a temple. Therefore, you need to treat the Earth like a temple. So I'm going to introduce you to a guy a little bit later on called Brian, right? Life of Brian. Remember Monty Python's? Yeah, no, not that one, right? Guy called Brian Johnson, who is reversing the aging process. And David Sinclair, we'll talk about him too. But Brian has a website, Brian Johnson website. He's got a blueprint for how we can reverse the aging process. But what he's really doing is creating peace in our bodies, because he says, look, we can't create peace in our bodies. We ain't never getting it on Earth. Except he doesn't say ain't. He's much more well-spoken than that. All right. So we need to take care of these bodies, and we need to start to create peace in us so we can create peace in our world. It will never happen until we do. So we all need to get on board with this idea. Make it a belief, make it a conviction, and have faith in it. I know all these themes keep coming back. Anyway, so the Earth's frequency is the first point of cognition in our body and our brain. Okay, that's like the pulse we talked about, right? All right, so this is the circuit or the circle of life. The frequency of life gives us resonance with Earth, our connection to Mother Earth. And like I said, we are the Earth. Our bodies are made of the elements of the Earth. So her frequency connects with us and connects us to the Earth. So what breaks the circuit? All right, and you're going, well, Stephen, you're supposed to be answering the questions, not me. All right, so what breaks the circuit is fear, right? Okay, I'll just skip down here a little bit, and I need to do that. What breaks the circuit is fear. When we go into fear, we lose our mind, right? And we're no longer connected to our spirit. We are now completely alone. And when that happens, we can do some crazy things. All right, so we need to stay connected. All right, so actually I just got to Brian Johnson there, and then, okay, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. All right, so all this external technology that we're witnessing right before us right now is really an external representation of our internal technologies. Huh? Stephen, I'm not a toaster. No, but you have the electrical potential. What do we say? We're electromagnetic energy, right? Yeah. So you mean what you're trying to say is that I could toast the bread myself? Yes, but you wouldn't want to toast bread because it's not good for you. It's carcinogenic. Behave. Let's talk about health, right? All right. So our bodies are made of the elements of the earth. Her frequency connects us to the earth, which breaks the circuit, fear. So when we go into fear, we break the connection with earth and we're no longer able to access our heart and intuition. Listen, have you ever done or said something, and after you did it or said it, you said, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just said that. That was so stupid. Oh, yeah? You didn't know? Probably lie about other things too, right? But what happened? You lost your mind. You lost connection with your true self. You lost connection to Mother Earth. Now, at the same time, have you ever done or said something, and you, after you did it or you said it, you went, that was me. You impressed yourself. You're not even sure how you did it, but what's the difference? Well, you were in the zone, which is another way of saying that the frequency of life moved through you and guided you, and you were connected to your intuition. You don't have to think about it. You acted on the feeling, on the intuitive feeling and your divine guidance. Now, what we got to do is we got to figure out and learn and program ourselves and resort ourselves. We're going to a resort. Recondition ourselves, remind ourselves, and remember, become a member again of the whole so that we can use our intuition, because prior to that, you're probably going to mess it up. All right, so we got a little bit of work. We got a little bit of work to do, right? But it is available to everyone, everywhere, all at once. You know, I remember reading books. Have you ever written books that people have said that God spoke to me? You know, like maybe the Bible or the books, right? You know, the conversations with God and all these things, and going, wait a minute. God is not, why doesn't God tell me that? Why doesn't God speak to me? Because you're not listening. And because you're probably clogged up a little bit and you can't receive the frequency very frequently. You're not concurrent. The current is not working. So we've got to work on the receiver. Who are you? You're the receiver. You got to stop foreclosing on yourself. Huh. All right. So it's available to everyone, everywhere, all at once. We just have to be able to receive it. And that means we've got to clean up our bodies. We've got to clean up our minds. We're going to clean up our life so that our receptors, heart, are ready to receive the information. All right. So this is where all this radical, rapid, revolutionary change is leading us. There's a revolution going on inside of us. It's being manifest outside of us, and it's manifesting in wars. There'll be rumors of wars. There will be wars. There will be turmoil upon the revelation, the revealing during the revolution. Listen, all the ancient traditions point to this time as a time of great change. What do you think? It's now. But they said it's going to be in a long time. They said that a long time ago. All right. So what is a revolution? It's a return to the beginning from whence we started. We are not going forward truly. We're going back where? To our nature. Oh, you said that earlier. I know. I'm saying it again. So the zone, where's the zone? In the now. In the what? In the now. Where enlightenment is. Where it was. And where it'll always be. Good, God. Good is an extension of God, isn't it? Yeah. God is always with us and never left us and is always guiding us if we will listen. Linda, listen, feel, and act on our own intuition, our divine guidance. We just got to get practice at it, right? So let me show you something that you've never seen before. Well, you have actually, but it was by accident. That's pretty funny. All right. So the clues, the signs are all around us, within us, if we know how to look. So this is an example. I was guided to this, understanding and seeing this. I would never have seen it if the creative force that flows everything hadn't spoken to me. Not that I am pure or I'm fully ready, but I just happen to tune into this. And from time to time, because I believe I can, which is where it's going to start, believing that you can do this too, because you can. So Neale Donald Walsch wrote the Conversations with God series, and then I actually had an experience very similar to that. I wrote a book about it. Anyway, here's the bottom line. When I was writing the book, I had this incredible experience of everything around me, everything everywhere all at once happening around me was in synchronicity, profound. It was freakish, which is English for freakish. Anyway, so as I'm writing, I am obviously questioning if this is really coming from a higher power or my higher self or wherever. And what started to happen, I had the radio going on while I was doing this, and then the songs on the radio would be interacting with what I was writing on. It was an incredible experience. But one of the things that happened to me was an awareness came to me about the earth, the word earth. And I want you to read this now as I'm going to show you on the screen. Tell me what you see here. Well, you can't tell me because you can't speak, because this isn't a two-way conversation and this is a recording. But what you see here, right, if you look at it, is what? Well, the first word you see, if you look from left to right, is ear, isn't it? And then you say, then ear, the, right? Art, ear, the art, right? The art. Then you see heart. Do you see heart? Earth is the word heart with one letter changed in its syntax. No one has ever seen this before. Well, you've seen it before because I put the slide up too soon. But anyway, you know what I mean, right? And yet it's right in front of us. I hadn't seen it before, and I was just guided in my mind, my thoughts, right? As I'm in a heartfelt place, I was guided to this understanding. Now, first they said, make a circle of the word, the earth, right? Which you could also do, right? But isn't this crazy? So thou art the earth. The earth is you, your heart, and the earth are one. You also see the word hearth there, don't you? The hearth, which is the center of the home. What's our home? Mother Earth. The wonders of the world are all around us. And I'm going to show you universes that are all around you right now that you've never seen before. Okay, so ear, here, the heart, the art, the hearth. Okay, so the heart. Art is an expression of the heart. The earth speaks to us through our heart. Our body is of the earth. Our brain is electricity from the earth, acts on and utilizes electricity to think. Our heart uses electricity to function. Okay, so we perceive time through our heart. And you might be interested to know that the frequency of the earth is speeding up. It's getting faster. And that is affecting our perception of time. So when people say that time seems to be going faster, it really, really is. Because the frequency of the earth is speeding up, and this affects our perception of time. Time is collapsing. You may remember the Mayan calendar ended, as we all know, in 2012, right? Why? Because they ran out of time. No, the Mayans left Earth en masse. How? Well, many believe that they vibrated to a frequency that they were beyond the current perspective of our senses. So Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This quote is often interpreted as meaning that the universe is made up of energy, and that all of this energy is vibrating at different frequencies. By understanding these frequencies, you can gain a deeper understanding of the universe and its workings. Tesla, of course, was a brilliant inventor and engineer, and he had a deep understanding of the nature of energy and vibration. He believed that these two forces were the key to understanding the universe, and he spent much of his life studying them. Tesla's quote is still relevant today, isn't it? As scientists are learning about the nature of energy and vibration. There is still much that we don't know about these forces, but Tesla's quote gives us a starting point for understanding. Here are some other quotes by Nikola Tesla about energy and vibration. If you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in the universe is in vibration. We are all vibrating at different frequencies. The universe is one great ocean of energy, and we are all connected to it. Vibration is the language of the universe. When we understand the power of vibration, we will be able to control the universe. Tesla quotes. These Tesla quotes about energy and vibration are thought-provoking and inspiring. They remind us that the universe is a vast and mysterious place, and that we're only beginning to understand its true nature. So the Mayans did leave the earth, seemingly everything, everywhere, all at once. They did leave everything, everywhere, all at once, all at one time. They did leave behind a skeleton crew. So apparently they vibrated to a higher level of frequency, a higher vibration that's beyond our perception, beyond our frequency that we can see, the light frequencies that we can perceive. And one elder that was left behind was asked about the calendar and why did it end on this December the 23rd, 2012. And the Mayan elder and descendant of the original Mayans responded, because after that date, time will cease to make sense. Time as we know it will be distorted. So we're living in a new era where time is speeding up as the vibration and frequency speeds up. It's becoming more and more difficult to plan anything. The seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years go by so quickly. Time is going by so quickly and things are changing accordingly. It is becoming more and more difficult to plan anything. Time is going so quickly, there's no time to think about the past. So we're being pushed into the now. This moment. What moment? The only moment that truly exists. Now. The present. You see, the past is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. This moment is a gift. And that is why they call it the present. I know you've heard that before, but this is where enlightenment exists. So where is all this chaos leading us? Nowhere. Huh? Now, here. See, when we start to break words apart, we start to see with our real eyes, which is the feelings of our heart, our central intelligent agency. We see things differently, not with these eyes, but with our real eyes. So what is there? Nothing. No thing. Where no thing matters. Because no thing matters. Nothing matters. There is no matter. Matter is an illusion. You know that everything is 99% empty space, don't you? You've been told that many times, haven't you? Neutrons, electrons, protons, all flying around. But if we look at anything that looks solid through a magnifying glass, this be a pretty strong one, right? We look in there, and what's there? Nothing. Nothing? Yes, nothing. Well, how come if I slap my hand on my desk, it hurts? Because we have slowed the vibration of our bodies and that desk down, so it seems like they hit each other, but they don't. It's an illusion. Everything is an illusion and then a magnificent manifestation of light. What? Yes. You see, we're 99% empty space. So what gives us the physical experience? Like we just said. So we are really light beings. But we're weighed down by the matter that we are living in or around, because actually, if someone passes away, they don't die. We're eternal, right? How do we know? Because I'm psychic. It's not why. And maybe I am, but not all the time. Anyway, but bottom line is, our bodies die, but we don't, right? So when a body is no longer functioning, we leave the body, right? Where do we go? We'll get into that later. But for right now, this body then returns where? Home. Where's home? The earth. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, correct? Mm-hmm. So the body goes back to the earth, right? But we transcend. All right. So we're 99% empty space. I know, crazy. But so really what we are is we are, and you are a child of the light. We are all light being. We are all light being. We are light beings. We are children of the light. Okay, so we had to slow our vibration down in order to have a physical experience. We're all spirit. We are a spirit. We have slowed our vibration down in order to have a human experience. So we are not humans having a spiritual experience. We are spirits having a human experience in order to become, we have come to be a human being, not a human doing, right? And so here's an analogy that I came up with. Is not that great, but it might help. If you think of a prop aircraft, right? Standing on the tarmac, and it's just waiting to be flown, right? And it has these propellers, and you can see them, right? You can see the blades of the propeller, right? Easy to see. Now, when the engine starts and the propellers start going fast, you can't see that. You cannot see the blades anymore, can you? Right? Now, you could walk in to the propeller and it would chop you into pieces, right? In order to see the propeller, it has to slow down. Mm. You see, if you speeded your vibration up, you would become invisible. Invisible to the naked eye. You would be a ghost. You would be back in spirit form. You see, no thing exists, pun intended, except in our minds. So is this all a simulation? Yeah. This is the metaverse. You see, the metaverse that Meta, Google, Sandbox, and others are creating, like Second Life, right? Decentraland, the Sandbox, Minecraft, Horizon Worlds, NVIDIA, Omniverse, Microsoft Mesh, and others. These independent metaverses are simply an external representation of an internal potential within all of us. We can create all of these things without any external technology. We are simply learning how to create. Create what? Our own worlds, universes, multiverses. We're all ready. We are all ready. All we are doing is waking up to our true potential. Now, we have a long way to go, and we have a lot to learn, but that's all part of the fun. Just like life, we want to have all experiences, right? To go through all the amazing stages of life, from child to teenager to young adult to parent to grandparent, and everything, everywhere, all at once in between. Isn't it reassuring to know, though, that everything, everywhere, all at once is going to be okay? That Mother Earth is with us all the time? Ha, pun intended. Mother Earth is with us all, everywhere, in everything, all at once. As the frequency, vibration, the currency of the universe speeds up, it generates a higher vibration. This higher vibration creates intense, sacred geometric patterns in the waters of our bodies, right? We all know we're made up mostly of water, right? So this is something called cymatics, right? Some of you may be familiar with that already. So what happens is when frequency is put into a material like water, oh, wait a minute, how much of our bodies are made up of water? Most of it. So if we're sending a higher frequency into the water, and what happens is this energy, this more and more intense energy starts to naturally create these sacred geometric patterns. Do you notice in the water that the patterns are held in place by the energy held in the water that puts pressure in the water and is contained in the patterns, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, if it's doing that to the water in our bodies, right? The higher the frequency, the more complex the pattern. Now, what happens is, and I'll show you this later, every time the frequency reaches a certain threshold, it's got this beautiful pattern, and then suddenly it all just morphs into what seems like chaos. What is chaos really? It's a time when that particular system is breaking down, ready to morph into an even more complex, more beautiful, more intense, holding more energy, sacred geometric pattern. Oh, well, isn't that nice that we can create pretty things in the water of our bodies? Listen, it's more important than that. So these cells and these sacred geometric patterns are passing over and flowing over our DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It's all the codes of life. In that DNA are the codes that we have not been able to actualize yet. Oh, what's in there? Take a wild guess. All the things you've dreamed of being able to do, but haven't been able to do. Well, why? Because you're not ready. You just said I was. Well, I lied. Look, you're not ready yet. We are not ready yet to harness those powers safely. Look at what we're doing to each other. Not good. You give people more power, the power to think of something that happened instantly, what would happen? I hate it. Oh, she's gone. I didn't mean it. Right? So we've got to be ready. So what is going to create this incredibly powerful frequency in our body? Take a wild guess. It's going to come from frequency. Emotion is frequency, isn't it? Feelings are a frequency, a vibration. What's the highest vibration? Love. Yes, love. Okay, well, I felt love and it hasn't happened for me. I know. Well, why not? Because it has to be agape. It has to be the highest possible love. It has to be unconditional. Well, I felt unconditional love fleetingly. It has to be constant. It has to be for so long that the flowing water of your body with those high intensity, sacred geometric patterns flow over your DNA for so long, so consistently, that those potentials in your DNA will break open. And you see, for one person to do that on their own is impossible. We need to do it together. We need to live in an environment in our bodies and all around us of unconditional love. I know. Some of you thinking, Stephen, if I knew what this was all going to be about and this is what I was going to need to do, I wouldn't have watched this far. Listen, we're not there yet. I'm not there yet. You're not there yet. But we're on a journey together, and together we can get there. Just like you can't start a space company and an EV company at the same time and expect it to succeed. Stick with me here. All right. So now you know. You know how this will occur. The question is, how do you raise your vibration to the frequency of love and hold it consistently? I have no idea. I'm kidding. I'm going to show you how we're going to do this, right? We need to be in a constant state of love, feel love, express love, give love unconditionally, without condition, and in any condition, no matter what. We are love. And you're beloved. Well, yeah, that's a whole different thing. I know. If I could do that, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Well, maybe I would, but I don't know. But the reality is I can't do this yet. I need you and you need me. All right. We need each other. We all need each other. So you will see that until we can find peace and love in ourselves, none of us can transcend the limitations that hold us back from experiencing peace and love on earth. No war will cure it. No external technology will cure it. The rapture will occur when we are ready. So we must experience the peace within us first. And like I said, Brian has figured this out. You know, Brian. No, not the life of Brian from Monty Python's. Right. So these are just different droplets of water showing the frequency increasing and the droplets of water increasing. So this guy, Brian Johnson, he has so he's a billionaire. So he's invested millions and millions of dollars. I think it cost him like $2 million a year to do all the tests and live this life. And he sacrificed his life because there's a lot of things that he would like to do that he can't in order to keep in this kind of shape. And he's doing this because he's a narcissist and wants to live forever, right? No, he's doing it actually as a sacrifice so that he can learn how to create peace in his body so we can duplicate it. So we have the blueprint, and that's what he calls it, the blueprint. And he's reversing the aging process. So this is not something that he's just saying. It is measurable, scientifically proven. He's gone from 44, from a biological age of 44 to 18. So he's not just for longevity. He's doing it so he can create peace in our body. And like I said, he understands that until we can create peace in our minds and bodies, we can never create peace on earth. All right? Until we can create lasting, unconditional love in our bodies, how can we ever be love, beloved? The answer is we can't. I know. I told you it won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Now, I'm not expecting you to get onto Brian's program. Not yet, anyway. We have a lot of work to do. So we have to spread the word. We need to pack light and spread love. I know. Cool, right? So maybe the force be with you. good God, right? Like I said, good is an extension of God. We just add the O or nothing. O or the world, a circle, the circle of life. Life is an acronym for love is forever. I know. Evil is live backwards. And anything done in darkness eventually comes to light. So the darkest side of our nature will eventually bring us back to the light being that we really are. So you asked who you really are. You are light. Sounds a bit boring. No, it isn't. It's pretty fun. And you can express any spectrum of the light that you choose. Any act of evil is only an act. Some of the one is acting, pretending to be something they are not. They are acting as if they are not love, pretending not to be loved, not to be loved, which in truth is what they are. And they are also beloved. They are living, going backwards, moving away from happiness, moving away from joy, moving away from enlightenment. Are they a bad person? Well, they're just acting badly. They are playing a role we need them to play, a role they volunteered to play. They're in a state of forgetfulness. They have chosen to forget who they really are in order to give us the opportunity to remember who we are. They love us that much. See, when you see them through the eyes of love and the fact that they are a light being, that they truly in their true nature are fully enlightened, that they have made the sacrifice to forget all that, to come down here and mess with you. Right? And when you see it from that perspective, it's a whole new world. And it makes it easier to forgive, doesn't it? And forgiveness is the path to love. They've come here to remind us. They've come into your life to remind you. People are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? To remind us, to provide us with the opportunity so we can demonstrate forgiveness, kindness, caring, sharing, love, and compassion. You see, without anyone to forgive, without anyone to show compassion for, to be kind to, how can we experience the joy of demonstrating these qualities? If we react to fear, to evil with fear or evil, what is the only thing that can occur? We'll repeat the same pattern. Why? Because you're a terrible person. No, so that you have another opportunity to demonstrate love, compassion, forgiveness, or whatever the quality is that you are longing to demonstrate in your soul. Now, none of these forces are weak. They are incredibly powerful and incredibly strong, as is faith. Yeah, I know. Simple, right? Hey, it's simple, just not easy, right? Because this simulation seems so real. Well, what did you expect from God? Did you expect anything less than a miracle? I didn't think so. And what is a miracle? It's a supernatural occurrence. So when we're in our nature, miracles happen all the time. Now we see them because we see with our real eyes they were always happening. And when we're not in our nature, we discount them as coincidences or luck. God is nature. God is your nature. We are a part of nature, not apart from nature. We are a part of God, not apart from God. We are at one. Atone. At one, atone. A tone of God. An individualized tone, a note, a sound. A sound in the song, one song. Universe means one song. We are simply a sound, a note in the song of life, in the one song. Sound is vibration. The sound of the universe creates everything. Now, when you speak, you make a sound. Sound is creative. When you speak, you send a vibration out into the universe. These words you speak are creative. They create new universes into existence. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. The Word is a creative force, a vibration that keeps all there is. It creates all there is, all we see and all we don't see. Vibration is the creative force that flows through everything and is everything, in everything, everywhere, all at once. I know. What a wonderful world, right? We're going to explore this in much greater detail. As I've said before, we're going to get to the heart of the matter, no matter what. We're going to challenge the status quo. We are going to saper ord. We are going to dare to be wise. We are going to question our beliefs and live in a world, a universe, a multiverse beyond belief, beyond our current belief. We are currently living in a world of make-believe, like we said, a fantasy of our own making. You know, the Native American Indians have told us for so long that we're living in a dream. And now it's time to start living in the dream of your choice. You have the power. You have the potential. You must choose. You just got to get clear and focused and committed to your dreams. This is what we're going to focus on in everything, everywhere, all at once. So now you know our destination, well, at least part of it. There's much more to see, to hear, and for me to share. Are you beginning to imagine what that will look like? Are you beginning to see what that looks like? Are you playing the movie in your imagination? Can you now see that you are the star, the hero in your movie and always have been? You remember Shakespeare said, life is a stage. We're all actors on the stage of the life, on the stage of your life. What part do you want to play? What will be your role? You get to choose consciously. What role do you choose? The past is the past. If you keep living in the past, thinking about the past, you will be repeating the past. The past holds great wisdom, but it doesn't need to be a prison. Learn from it and move on. Come back to the present. We can look to the future. We can create a vision for the future, and then we can come back to the present and enjoy the gifts that the present provides. So everything, everywhere, all at once is happening for us. That's the secret. To know, to fully know, to believe, and ultimately have faith. The faith, the unshakable faith that everything, everywhere, all at once happens for us, not to us. That no matter what, because it doesn't really matter, because there really is no matter. Nothing really exists. The fact is, the only thing that does exist is nothing. Mind frazzled yet? Wait until we get where we're going. Oh my. Anyway, where are we going? Nowhere, huh? Remember, we are going to now here, to being in the now. You realize, see with your realize your feelings, which are frequency, vibration, intuition. There is truly nowhere to go. All we need is to be now here, to be present, to be who we really are in the now. Okay. So you know you are going to forget all this, right? But it doesn't matter, right? There is no thing to worry about. Why? Because there is a never-ending number of reminders coming your way to help you to remember who you really are and what really matters, which is, of course, as you know, nothing really matters. All right. So we're simply on an adventure, a journey with twists and turns and all kinds of crazy experiences to enjoy, connect to joy, to the memories that we will share on and along the yellow brick road. There will be challenges, hurdles to overcome, fears to face, but all the challenges, hurdles, obstacles, difficulties, impossible, insurmountable, and devastating problems that we will surely face will become I'm possible. Any insurmountable challenge will prove surmountable. Nothing will ever devastate us, even though it may feel devastating, because we came out of the moment and went into the past or the future because we forgot about the now. We forgot where the present was. Where are all the presents? Come on, they're under the tree. No, not the Christmas tree. Huh? The tree of life. Huh? Yes, there is a tree of life. You see, when we talk about this sacred geometry, everything, everywhere, all at once is born from sacred geometry. A sacred geometric tree? Yes. The tree of life is, of course, a metaphor that refers to the sacred geometry that through vibration creates the building blocks of life. It's also where you take the fruit from, remember? Remember the fruit of life? You see, these are references to sacred geometric patterns from which all life is formed. This is the flower of life. So this comes into existence through the sound, the frequency, the vibration of the universe. Life is vibration, sound, frequency that creates sacred geometric patterns, not just in water, but in everything, everywhere, all at once, including matter, the physical matter, the matter of our life, the earth. Yeah. All created by circles, vibratory fields of energy, energy stored and dispersed into matter. And there are 5 sacred geometric patterns called the Platonic solids. Now, as this image that you're seeing here changes, you're seeing the Platonic solids, you're seeing the fruit of life, the flower of life. You're also seeing the fruit of life. You're also seeing, well, the Platonic solids, right? All the creation right in front of you. So like I said, everything, everywhere, all at once that you see is simply a movie. Not the one that won the Oscar, your movie, where you are the star, you are the superhero of your own 4D movie. Well, actually, it's 6D. But we're not there yet. Where? Nowhere. Of course, I should say now here. All right. So we may forget that every problem has a solution, no matter how difficult, how much everyone, any scientist or any evidence tells us to the contrary, we will overcome it. We might forget that, but that's okay. We're in the process of creating the life of our dreams. Imagine that. I mean, really, imagine that. What does it look like? These are the Platonic solids, right? So there they are. All right, we'll come back to these later. So we're going to overcome everything. We're in the process of creating the life of our dreams. Imagine that, because John and Yoko did, right? They imagined it. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. You may say, I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one, right? I hope that one day you will join us and the world will be where? No countries. So we're going to a place where there are no longer going to be countries. Huh? Yeah. nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say, all right, I can't sing, but if you could give me some leeway, I'd appreciate it. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will be at one. Imagine no possessions. What did I say? Letting go of attachment to being possessed, right? I wonder if you can imagine that. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of people. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Because there's nothing to fight for, nothing to die for. Interesting concept. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Now, you know that Yoko downloaded this, right? For the most part. And later, John Lennon said, I regretted not giving Yoko the credit. Right? But it all came from her heart. You know? And now, they're not the only ones. And I hope you will join us in the world we see with a real eyes, heart and intuition. I know it sounds a little airy-fairy. I know that. We got a long way to go. But at least it's something to go for, right? Shoot for the moon. Oh, no, we've got to shoot for Mars, right? But at one point, no one ever believed we could even get to the moon. So maybe we can. All right. So we will see with our real eyes, our heart and intuition, that we are a tone at one. In the Mayan tradition, there is a greeting that many people working with Mayan wisdom know of, right? It is the law of Lakash Alakin, which means I am another, yourself. It also means that I am you. You are me, and we are one. We have come to understand that this Mayan greeting is honoring each other. It is a statement of unity and oneness. Lakesh Alakin mirrors the same sentiment of other beautiful greetings such as Namaste for East India, Viracocha for the Inca, Matakaya Ayasin for the Lakota. It doesn't matter which culture you come from. But when one of these greetings is given, there's always an action of placing the hands over the heart. I am you. You are me. We are one. And that's what Namaste means in Sanskrit. Right? It means the divinity in me recognizes the divinity in you, because we're not apart from God. We are all a part of God. We are someone. Some of the one. We are nobody. We are not our body. We are more than our body. So when we say the word namaste, it is to remind ourselves and each other that we are all divine beings and that we are all one, part of the oneness that connects us all. It's not a bad thing to remind ourselves of before we interact with each other, right? And after we have interacted each other, right? When we remind each other, we remember, become a member of the whole again, of the one again. So this is ancient wisdom, the wisdom of the heart. What do the ancients say? Live from the heart, speak from the heart. If something is true, it will be heartfelt. The ancients knew that the heart was much more than an organ to pump blood. They knew that the heart was the real CIA, our Central Intelligence Agency. Now, they did not have any of the scientific methods we have today. They had the science of the heart and nature. They understood how to tap in to their inner potential. We know that there are worlds that have come and gone. The Mayans came and went. Atlantis came and went, right? These people understood and actualized the incredible, unlimited potential within us. We are coming closer to that time. They understood that if you want to understand the nature of the universe, if you want to access the wisdom of the heart, you must understand frequency, vibration, for they are the currency of true wealth. The higher the frequency you can hold in the body, in your body, the more of your inner potential you can activate. The highest frequency you can hold in your body is the frequency of love. When we can not just feel love, but hold the feeling, the frequency, the vibration of love in our body constantly, we will activate, open up the inner potential that lies within our DNA. The dormant, inactive DNA that is waiting for us to be ready to activate that unlimited potential. We're never given more than we can handle. We will never activate our true potential until we are ready, until we are all ready. We will not be able to access the true powers we possess until we can be loved and beloved. It is a safety mechanism so that we don't destroy each other and our beloved Mother Earth. Me. Mother Earth. Emmy. It's me. Yeah. Our heart and soul. So this is the universe that Mr. Einstein was referring to. We are in the universe where everything, everywhere happens all at once. Yes, we are the multiverse. What we are looking at, what we are witnessing is a mirror of ourselves individually and collectively. And yes, everything that has ever happened, everything that ever will happen, everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once. So there you have it. And this, of course, was Einstein's dream, the theory of everything happening all at once. Yes, I know that's a lot to take in, and I'm going to show you with science and evidence. All you need to do is nothing. You don't need to do anything. You simply just need to be. To be what? No thing. Don't be attached to anything. Don't be a thing. Don't act as if you are something that you are not. You're not something, right? You are some of the one, someone. You don't need to be anything. You can choose to be who you really are. You can choose to be a human being, a light being. Be who you really are. Who am I? Well, let's find out. That's a question for another episode. We have quite a journey ahead of us, an exciting adventure for sure. There are many possibilities. How will it all end? Well, we'll see when we get there. You will be a hero or a villain in your very own 6D Oscar-winning movie. Yes, you're going to get an Oscar. Will it end well or in disarray? You get to choose. Choose wisely. Sapere ord. Dare to be wise. You know, I said this in the last episode. Ray Dalio said it best. If you're worried, there's no need to be. If you're not worried, you need to be. And this thought-provoking quote by Ray Dalio underscores the significance of our apprehensions regarding the potential threats and challenges that emerging technologies propose. Our worries reflect our awareness and proactive stance in mitigating these threats and addressing the challenges. On the flip side, complacency amidst these evolving changes is indeed a reason to worry. But you're not going to be complacent because you're going to be with me on the journey. So look here, it says the bottom line. AI is not going away. In a world where technology is evolving at an unprecedented pace, there is simply no way to halt its progression. Regulating this advancing technology is already proving to be a Herculean task, and with time, it's likely to become even more challenging. Without global agreements that transcend national boundaries and are adhered to diligently, the chances are remote. So we face the risk of losing control over this powerful tool. The race towards AI superiority is on, with every country, business, corporation, and individual vying to get ahead. Just like the computer situation, right? Okay, so the potential that holds to revolutionize our worlds is unparalleled in the history of mankind. It's about harnessing this potential in a way that benefits all of us. So both scenarios are very possible, so it's very important that we do not get complacent. How are we going to embrace, adopt, and utilize these technologies to improve our lives without being destroyed by them? We all need to be responsible. you have a very important part to play in all this, perhaps even bigger than you might have thought. So everybody, everywhere, all at once has a role to play in the ultimate movie. We are all in this movie, whether we like it or not. All right. So will you contribute to the rise or the fall of humanity? You get to choose, consciously or unconsciously. But you've taken the red pill. So going back to unconsciously is not even an option, right? Okay. All right. So we're here to inform you, providing you insight, wisdom, and knowledge. Hopefully you feel like you got some pretty profound wisdom today, some insight, so that you can make conscious intelligence choice of how you want to participate or not in the future of humanity, and be prepared for the extraordinary, mind-blowing events and opportunities that will emerge, giving us what we have asked for and prayed for what seems like an eternity, the opportunity to live a life of freedom, happiness, and joy. Isn't that what we really want? Isn't that what you really deserve? Yeah, absolutely. There's Reed. All right, there's the pig flying, right? So you'll know this will happen when pigs fly. Well, there you go. They're flying already. Seriously, though, it may sound crazy, ridiculous, and totally unreasonable. However, the world is not run by reasonable people. George Bernard Shaw told us that, right? All right. Now, this quote, the reasonable person adapts themselves to the world. The unreasonable person persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable person. All right. So it's time to get unreasonable. It's time to be who you really are and stand up for what you believe in. So look, we're on this journey together. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. Well, the good news is you've already taken the first step. And for those of you who watched the first episode, it's the second step. So congratulations. The other good news is there are not 1,000 episodes of EEAAO, or Everything Everywhere All at Once. So by taking the time, yes, your most precious resource, to watch the first or second episode, your journey has seriously begun. All right. You're on the yellow brick road. All right. We're on our way to the Emerald City. And now you have a clue what that is. All right. And you're going to meet the Wizard of Oz. All right. Like I said, not saying it's going to be easy. We're going to look at more into sacred geometry as we go forward. Right. And understand what that means. We're going to be using our heart. Here it is, the flower of life, and all those things that we just said, the fruit of life, the egg of life, the tree of life are already in there, and I'm going to be putting those out to you, right? Now, this is going to be transformative. Going to be new ways of living and being here. Is it going to be scary? For sure, right? Just like watching a scary movie, right? You knew it was going to be scary before you started watching it. Right? That's why you're watching it, because you want to be scared a little bit. You want a little bit of uncertainty, right? Now, some of you may not watch scary movies like me, because I think there's enough going on there to scare us already. So look, it's all part of the adventure. We need some uncertainty as well as certainty. We need contrast. If everything always turned out perfectly and there was no danger, life would just not be the same. So buckle up. Make sure your hiding cushion is with you as we journey together. Be prepared as much as you can be for the best movie you've ever seen in 4D, actually 60. The movie which you get to play the starring role in the movie of your life. In the meantime, I have a mission for you. A second mission. If this is your first experience here, you need to get a journal. I'm recommending, or I am encouraging you to get a journal and journal your experiences here, your thoughts. This is going to activate all kinds of ideas in your mind. This is crazy, ridiculous, and little by slow, we'll come to an understanding, right? So if I can be so bold, ask you to start a journal, right? So you can write your thoughts and reflections down, and maybe even bring it with you to each episode. Now, I promise you that over the course of these series, you will see a shift in your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas, and all the things that we talked about. And my hope that is over time, pun intended, you feel more certain and confident about yourself and your role in the conscious evolution of humanity. Mm-hmm. And I hope that you will feel more certain about your future, the future of our home, Mother Earth. And you'll have a record, a journal of your transformation, something you can look back on with amazement and pride, a reminder of how you can learn and grow and accomplish anything that your heart desires. And as we bring this second episode to a conclusion, I want to share a few thoughts with you, a few closing thoughts. First, I want to share something that's very close to my heart. It's something I call Soul Tree. And sultry is the poetry of the heart. Sultry has a certain cadence, rhythm, and rhyme to it. And it always has a message that makes you think about your life and what is really important and what really matters. And of course, nothing really matters because there really is no matter. For now, I just want you to sit back and enjoy this example, which is a new one for those of you who were on the first episode. So you might enjoy this more if you put your hand on your heart and close your eyes. Okay, now to do that, take a deep breath. Let that breath out. Okay, and just relax. This piece of sultry is called It's Time Now. It's time now to remember. It's time for you to recall. It's time now to break those bonds and tear down your wall. It's time now to see the light at the end of the hall. It's time now to open your heart. It's time to have a ball. It's time now to let go of whatever is holding you back. It's time now to give freely, to turn away from lack. It's time now to live your purpose, to get your life on track. It's time now to accept that every experience is something we attract. It's time now to wake up from your waking sleep. It's time now to turn your still waters into rivers that run so deep. It's time now to be honest and let your truth be known. It's time now to show the world how much love you have grown. It's time now to allow yourself to really go to extremes. It's time now to make the journey for which your soul screams. It's time now to give it your all and discover what that means. It's time now to make this life the life of your dreams. I hope you enjoyed that sultry and that it resonated with your heart. Take another deep breath. Let it out. Gently open your eyes. Okay, so we're going to discuss obviously more about the heart and the intelligence, the Central Intelligence Agency. The second thing I want to share with you is some ancient wisdom and some poignant wisdom of the Greeks. Socrates once said that learning is simply remembering, that we're simply getting through this stage of forgetfulness. Remember, we talked about it, and remembering who we really are. All right. And the Greeks also had a saying, saper ord. Saper ord is a phrase that the Greeks used to say, and it means dare to know. It's often translated as having the courage to use your own reason or dare to be wise. The phrase was first used by the Roman poet Horace, 20 BC. It was later adopted by the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, who used it in his essays, What is Enlightenment? In Kant's essay, saper ord is used to express the idea that we should not rely on the authority of others, but should instead use our own reason to think for ourselves. And Kant argues that this is essential for enlightenment, which he defines as man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity. The phrase saper ord has been interpreted in many ways. Some people see it as a call to be independent thinkers, while others see it as a warning against the dangers of dogma and superstition. However, the phrase is generally seen as a positive message, encouraging us to use our own reason to think for ourselves. So I want to encourage you to saper ord, dare to be wise. I've created an acronym for DARE, Daily Active Remembering Experience. After each episode, I encourage you to journal a daily active remembering experience, which helps you tap into your own wisdom and more potential. Those of you who watched the first episode, your mission for the second episode is to encourage someone or put a group together to create a forum where you can discuss these concepts and expand upon them. I'll provide you with more dares in each episode of Everything Everywhere All at Once in the future. Each dare, should you choose to accept it, will have a profound effect on your life and the lives of others. If you choose to accept your dare today, please make sure you follow through. It won't be easy, but it'll be worth it. These things alone will help build your confidence and certainty in yourself, the world you live in, and in your progress. I'll be interested in reading your comments if you'd like to share below. I want to thank you for giving me your time and attention. I hope that you feel it's been worth it. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you'd like to know what the next episode is, just click the subscribe button below and the like button so that we can let you know where the next episode of Everything Everywhere All at Once is posted, and so others know that this is a well-liked show. They might feel encouraged to join our community of unreasonable people and become the light being that they really are. Until then, Sapere Ord, dare to be wise.